Hey, welcome back to our series on becoming an AI business analyst. In today's video, we are tackling probably one of the most exciting and important topics of our time: how to identify opportunities to implement AI in your organization. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll at least have a clear framework for spotting areas where AI can add value and drive innovation. Let's get started. So, why AI opportunities matter? AI is not just a buzzword anymore. It is a tool that can help transform industries from healthcare to finance to retail and everything in between. But here's the challenge: not every problem requires AI. As a business analyst, your role is evolving. You are now going to have to be able to identify areas where AI can provide a high level of return in terms of like a highest possible return on investment. This ensures that your organization avoids wasting resources on unnecessary or poorly scoped out AI projects. So step one is really understanding your business. So if I was a business analyst in an organization, I would want to understand what was the goal of our business? What are our KPIs, our key performance indicators, and what are we chasing as an organization? So to really understand your business goals, I like to start with why. And so let's look at it from a project basis. Every AI project should align with your organization's strategic objectives. Begin with asking, what are the company's key priorities and how can AI get us there? So for an example, a retail company focused on improving customer retention might benefit from using AI customer service chatbots to have a more customized communication process for customers to get them information quickly in a reasonable time frame, and then allow for escalation points if they need to communicate with a human being. Number two, I would engage with stakeholders. I would collaborate with other department leads to understand their challenges and their goals, and really use these stakeholder interviews and workshops to uncover pain points, bottlenecks, and figure out how AI can solve those. From there, I would prioritize challenges, focus on challenges that are really repetitive, data intense, and require predictive insights. These types of problems are prime candidates for AI solutions. Step two, assess AI readiness. So you want to evaluate the data availability within your organization. AI is only as good as the data it has. In machine learning, there's a phrase, essentially it's garbage in, garbage out. If you don't have good data, you're not going to have good outcomes when it comes to AI. So you want to determine if your organization has access to relevant, clean, and sufficient data. For an example, logistic companies wanting to optimize their delivery routes really need to have accurate historical data on their deliveries to be able to make predictive analytics really feasible in their organization. From there, you also want to analyze infrastructure. Does your organization have the tools and the technology to support AI? If they don't, then you might want to consider some kind of cloud-based solution like an Azure or an AWS. And along this journey, you have to assess whether your team, your technical team, has an expertise to manage AI projects or external partners will be needed. Now, this really goes into how the business analyst role has just evolved, right? I've seen a lot of BAs in the last 18 months being tasked with doing deep dives on the technology that's out there and coming back to directors and senior directors and VPs with recommendations. And so now you not only have to gather the requirements, but a lot of times you're chasing the most up-to-date tech to figure out if you can solve those issues. And then once a company is willing to look a little bit deeper, the technical team will put together a proof of concept and really validate whether it's technically feasible. But the business analyst role has changed so much. And so you're starting to do more and more. But if you're able to master this, there's definitely a future for you in this career. From there, you want to identify high impact use cases. So the way I like to do it is I like to look for quick wins. Focus on projects that can be delivered, really quickly with measurable results. And this will help build confidence in the organization and set the stage for larger initiatives down the road. So for example, at one of the clients I had recently, they wanted to do more AI projects. The first thing we did was set up a chat bot because essentially soup to nuts to get that done. It took about 3 months. So it was a relatively quick endeavor, but we were able to show that we could deliver an AI project. From there, you want to target strategic goals. For larger projects, align AI initiatives with key business drivers like increasing revenue, cutting costs, improving customer satisfaction, things like that. You want to use AI to predict things like product demand and use that to optimize your inventory management. If you're able to tie your project to goals like that, you can make a pretty big impact in an organization. And then you also want to really look at the risk and reward analysis of this. Evaluate the feasibility and the potential impact of each of these projects. Consider factors like data quality, expected ROI, and implementation complexity. These are all things that have never really been in the ballpark of a BA before, but now companies are hoping to leverage business analysts more to help them drive their future from an AI technology implementation perspective. The next step I would look at is really building a business case for AI. So once you've defined the problem, figured out what you want to try to do there, you want to be able to document this, right? Going back to the basics of what a business analyst does. So document the business problem. So articulate the challenge in clear terms, focusing on the impact and what the outcome is supposed to be. In this new AI world, a lot of companies think AI can solve all their problems. That's not the case. And so you don't want to be caught in a situation where the outcomes are not defined. So as a BA, document the business problem, document the expected outcome, and have your success metrics. So for example, let's say our customer churn rate is 20%. We're losing about $1 million in lost revenue because we lose those customers. This AI customer service chatbot will help us reduce that loss by 10%, right? So then you can kind of correlate that down. You don't want to be aggressive, but just have really small goals initially to show success and show that AI is positively impacting the organization. You also want to work with your technical team to really understand the costs and the ROI. There's been some cases in some companies I've known and I've worked with where we would greenlight an AI project, but we didn't understand the costs. And so we would be, let's say, leveraging OpenAI, but we would have a significant spend because we were calling the OpenAI APIs a lot, and that really incurred a big expense. And so you want to make sure that you have a good understanding of the potential costs based on an estimate of usage and really communicate that to the stakeholders that are looking at that potential solution. And you want to acknowledge and address those risks, right? What are the potential challenges? Understand that there might be some data privacy concerns and technical limitations. So for example, in the chatbot that I mentioned before that I built for one of my recent clients, we actually initially built it leveraging an OpenAI license, but once they wanted to expand it to include more company-specific information, we created something called a RAG, which is like a database that the AI uses. And then we used an open sourced version of AI. We brought that in-house. So then we made sure that no data was leaving the organization. So there are things that you can do in order to mitigate those risks, mitigate those data privacy concerns, but it takes some time to really understand the requirements from the business. So I know that this has been a pretty quick video, but this is just scratching the surface of how you can identify AI opportunities, really aligning that technology with business value, and really following this simple framework of just figuring out the business problem, doing some research, and documenting that all for your leaders. You can ensure that you can have a really big impact as an AI business analyst and ensure your AI projects are impactful, efficient, and aligned to your organizational needs. In the next video, we're going to explore how to bridge the gap between business teams and AI specialists. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.